Everyone who loves G.I. Joe in the UK, or outside of the UK, in the EU, wherever you may be, have done like their rant about Hasbro, and I haven't yet. So here's sort of mine. I didn't want to venture into the realms of negativity, but if you collect G.I. Joe classified, you'll know that they're not gonna send their figures to the shops in the UK anymore, or the EU. You have to get them directly from Hasbro Pulse. This will, you've probably seen all these, the reasons, and ultimately it's more money in Hasbro's pocket. It's considered a bit of a dick move by them, a little bit greedy, and it screws smaller businesses over. And it's a little bit sad. I was really enjoying when Classified came out and I could go into my local Forbidden Planet and see a lovely range of G.I. Joe figures. The nostalgia was there. It was exciting. I used to, really... I used to. It's only over a year ago. I used to go in and be really sort of happy and look on the pegs and see if there was any that I was missing. Because I really, when Classified came out, I really went in full force, pun intended, and got all of them. And then I sort of dropped off when they stopped. I haven't really kept up with the latest releases because I think they're just too much stuff coming out anyway, and the sort of Hasbro business practices are a little bit how do I say this? Not my cup of tea. I think they could do better. I've got friends who have small businesses, dealing in with this sort of geek action figure type things, and they can't get the G.I. Joes in, and they were selling really well, and they've just sort of been a bit screwed by it. So yeah, poor show on the Hasbro front as far as G.I. Joe is concerned. But the figures themselves are some of the best. It's a real shame because the articulation and the detail. I love Cobra Commander. I mean, brutal chest cut aside, and 10 points if you get that reference. But yeah, they're really good figures. Anyway, I will continue with them. I'm not out. I haven't stopped loving G.I. Joe. I've stopped loving some of the creative overlords behind, the business side of things, Hasbro side of things. The comics are, I don't read them anymore. They are pretty rubbish. But anyway, so that's my negativity out of the way. Let's talk about something G.I. Joe that's really positive, something that I was lucky enough to find for a really good price at the London Film and Comic Con. And this has got me really excited for G.I. Joe, and it fits in with the Classified line, but this is a Mezco figure. Now, these are awesome. I've got a few Mezco. I've got a few DC characters and a really cool Mezco Hornet guy, for want of a better description. But this guy, this Destro figure, so cool. just really harkens back to that old Action Man type feel. It's an action figure, but you know, you get the doll. I know that's blasphemy to say, but it's just so cool, and the outfit sort of really allows for some cool poses. It doesn't break up the figure. So if you're one of those photography people out there, you're going to love this, because it really just looks so cool when you're posing it. And I imagine you could get some really good shots, take this outside and play with it. So I'm just so excited for when they eventually get to like Duke and Flint and Zartan. I've seen Firefly looks really, really good. Roadblock is out already, although I don't want another Roadblock. I've got like 3. He's not my favourite character, so whatever. But the potential for these, they are quite expensive. You could probably buy 4 G.I. Joe classifieds for the price of 1 of these. But I think it's worth it, you know. And if Hasbro are going to be, you know, doing all these shenanigans, send your business to one of the other retailers. Technically, Hasbro's still going to get the money, aren't they, because they own G.I. Joe. But yeah, it's a nice... I'm just being a bastard, aren't I? But yeah, it's a really nice figure, and I can't wait to get more of the imagine a Cobra Commander, you know, with different sort of helmets, because the great thing about these are you get loads of like different heads and different hands. So you could do Cobra Commander with like different versions of the battle helmet, maybe the hood. We haven't had a Cobra Commander with a hood, which apparently there was some nonsensical reason for that, but it's rubbish, isn't it? Everyone knows that it's Cobra Commander. It's a bit of fun. It's not what they say. I'm trying to hold back my tongue with stuff like this. There's so much, you know. I want to be positive in these videos, but yeah, but it's sometimes fun to be a bit negative, isn't it? I like it. I like winding people up sometimes, and I like looking at the comments section on G.I. Joe and Hasbro related Facebook pages. It makes me laugh. These Mezco figures are, I think there are 2 out at the moment. It's Destro and Roadblock. Firefly will be coming out soon. I've seen, I think, Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes. And I'm glad that we're getting these guys out of the way, because then we can really get to the characters that I love. I'd love to see a Cobra Commander. I'd love to see not Storm Shadow, the red ninjas, you know. Yeah, I think they're just called Red Ninjas, aren't they? Simple enough. Yeah, I'd love to see them, and like you get all the like different heads and hands and ninja weapons and stuff like that. Another thing that Mezco are really good with are like light up features and stuff like that. So imagine if you got like a battle android trooper, and all the bits light up and everything. That'd be awesome, like little LEDs in its chest and everything. So yeah, the future's... I'm in 2 minds, because I love G.I. Joe. It's a massive part of my childhood, but it disappoints me some of the elements surrounding it I find disheartening and disappointing in the way some people behave. And I mean, I'm talking about the big corporations here, not the actual individuals that we see. You know, not the design team. They seem to be really into it, and they've done some absolute bangers. But yeah, some of the decisions being made are disappointing. Let's just leave it at that. I should have got Serpentor out. This is another thing that really annoys me about Hasbro. I said I was going to stop. No, I've got to carry on. I've got to get this off my chest. So look, I'm really lucky to be married to Debbie, and she just comes up trumps. Like, for my birthday, she went very sneakily to do some research, and God knows how she found it, but she found someone who was selling Serpentor for a really good price. Really quite a silly, low price. It was legit and everything. So she was just lucky, I think, compared to the nonsense that he sort of goes for now. So I got Serpentor for my birthday. She knew how I was sort of pissed off and anxious about that figure, because why would you make one of the most popular G.I. Joe villains? And you can probably tell that I prefer the villains over the heroes just because they're more interesting. I don't know what that says about me. But why would you make one of the most awesome villains so hard to get? I mean, it's like this guy, Mindbender. I picked him up from In Demand Toys. They had an amazing price on him. Like compared to like a silly price compared to what people are charging him. But In Demand are amazing anyway. They always come through with the good stuff. And he's another main character, a really important character. If you love season 2 of that old animated Sunbow show, you just can't get him. Beachhead, he's a really important character on the Joe team, one of my favourite G.I. Joes. And I think he'd be an amazing Mezco figure as well. But he's really hard to get. Why do they make these Walmart and Hasbro Pulse exclusives? It just seems daft to me. But anyway, what else can I moan about? It's cold today. It's raining. Summer's truly come to an end. Anyway, all right, we'll wrap it up. So, yeah, there you go. Go and get a Mezco Destro. You won't regret it. It's really cool. He's got a thing on his wrist as well, like Buzz Lightyear. When he does that. Yeah. And go and get it. It's really cool. All right, guys. Thank you. See you later.